In the 19th century, the so-called Great Game emerged as a political and diplomatic confrontation between the British Empire and the Russian Empire in Central Asia. This contest, which spanned much of the 1800s, was an intense struggle for regional influence, territorial control, and political. Despite its historic significance, the Great Game featured no formal declaration of war, but was a Cold War of espionage, diplomacy, and occasional battles. Central Asia in the 19th century was a mosaic of khanates, tribal alliances, and nomadic societies. The region, rich in culture and strategically important, was a blank spot on the maps of many European powers. Its lush valleys, harsh deserts, and mountain ranges made it virtually inaccessible to outsiders, creating an air of mystery and adventure for the European explorers and political agents who ventured there. The Great Game began primarily due to Russia's advancement into Central Asia and Britain's fear of losing their grip on India. The movement of Russian forces towards the borders of India concerned the British, who saw India's wealth as the jewel in their imperial crown. The tensions escalated with each diplomatic maneuver and territorial acquisition. Russia's interest in Central Asia was driven by several factors: expanding its territorial reach, seeking warm water ports, and projecting power beyond its traditional borders. The ever-present Russian threat involved a series of calculated conquests of Central Asian territories and strategic. Their tactics combined military expeditions, offering protection, and using intrigue to destabilize the status quo. Britain's approach was primarily defensive, aimed at containing Russian influence and securing the northwest frontier of India. The British employed a mix of local alliances, espionage, and military campaigns. They fortified key locations, established diplomatic ties with local leaders. Playing the political chessboard, Britain's agents on the ground gathered intelligence and countered Russian moves. One of the foremost agents of the British Empire, Arthur Connolly, coined the term Great Game. He was a brave and resourceful figure whose travels and missions through hazardous territories symbolized the spirit of British espionage. His tales of intrigue and danger exemplified the high stakes and risks the players of the Great Game undertook. Representing Russia's bold moves was Nikolai Muravyov, a charismatic military leader and strategist. Muravyov's expeditions into Central Asia showed Russia's aggressive tactics and ambition to expand its frontiers. His legacy was marked by successful military campaigns and the establishment of Russian political influence in the region. Both empires heavily relied on espionage. Spies were the unsung heroes and shadows of the Great Game, collecting intelligence, mapping unknown territories, and forging alliances. This network of secret agents and informants played a crucial role in the ebb and flow of the conflict, often operating under false pretenses and engaging in covert operations. Mapping Central Asia was not only about geographical exploration, but a tool of power. Accurate maps were a credit to the adventurers and spies who charted previously unknown lands. These maps became pivotal assets, granting the controlling powers a strategic advantage. Boundaries in Central Asia were often blurred, leading to disputes. The Anglo-Russian boundary commissions were established to demarcate borders clearly and prevent accidental skirmishes. This clip would delve into the meetings, negotiations, and processes that attempted to define the geopolitical landscape of the region. Amid the grand schemes of empires, the local khans, emirs, and tribal leaders played critical roles in the Great Game. Their allegiance could tip the scales in favor of either empire. These leaders maneuvered through the complex political landscape to maintain autonomy and leverage. Geography immensely influenced strategies. The great mountain ranges, such as the Hindu Kush and the deserts of the Karakum, acted as natural barriers and dictated military movements. Understanding and utilizing geography was a skill that both empires applied to gain an upper hand. As technology advanced, so did strategies in the Great Game. Railways, telegraphs, and weaponry transformed how both empires managed control. Infrastructure projects could cement influence, and advancements in communication allowed for quicker strategic decisions. While the Great Game did not culminate in full-scale war, there were numerous skirmishes and conflicts. These engagements, though minor on a global scale, had significant regional implications. Each battle could shift the balance of power and influence the geopolitical dynamics. Afghanistan played a crucial role as a buffer state. Both empires sought to control and influence Afghanistan to limit each other's encroachment. The country's strategic location made it the focus of intense diplomatic and military maneuvers. To control or maintain influence over Afghanistan, Britain engaged in multiple Anglo-Afghan wars. These conflicts highlighted the difficulties of military campaigns in harsh terrains and the complexities of Afghan society. The Treaty of Gandamak in 1879, signed between Britain and Afghanistan, symbolized the high water mark of British diplomacy in the region. While it temporarily secured British interests, it also sowed the seeds for future resentment and conflict. This clip focuses on Russia's continued territorial expansion, covering key campaigns and annexations. The capture of cities like Samarkand and Tashkent marked milestones in Russian influence in Central Asia. Within this context, the Durrani Empire played a distinct role. Understanding its position and its leaders' actions provides insight into the wider geopolitical shifts of the time. Central Asia's historic Silk Road represented economic interests that both powers found attractive. Control of trade routes was crucial, offering economic benefits and a means to extend influence. As the 19th century waned, so did the intensity of the Great Game. Political changes, international focus shifts, and mutual exhaustion led to easing tensions. However, the legacy of the Great Game continued to shape regional dynamics. The conclusion of the Great Game did not end the story. The repercussions were felt into the 20th century, influencing events and borders and seeding future conflicts. The Great Game inspired a plethora of literature. Writers like Rudyard Kipling brought tales of Central Asian intrigues to the broader public, capturing imaginations and shaping perceptions of the region.